This is a really cool 5 acre property in Ennis, Montana, just south of the Madison River, located in this chain of lake system. My name is Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. What I'm going to do is break down this property for you, show you exactly what we have in this land investment, get started kind of talking through what we do as a business. What we buy, what we do is we buy and sell, raw vacant land. Our focus is to work on these unique and epic properties. This is some pretty badass drone imagery our photographer got out here. We're just south of Big Sky, Ennis, Montana, if those names bring a bell. The Madison River is right there. There's a chain of lakes right around it. In this video, I'm going to pull up the property on satellite imagery, show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you what neighboring properties are doing and all that good stuff. I've got one more video here. You can see our photographer was able to access a property on this road right there. Again, we're going to get a view looking the other way. So really a cool property. It fits a bill of unique and epic. This is a really special location in Montana. I'll pull up the listing here again. We can look through some of the photos, but the photos speak 1,000 words, more than I can tell you. I want to show you some satellite imagery, and I want to show you what the property looks like on a map too, because you have world-class fly fishing and recreation at your fingertips. So let's get started with looking at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the property location on a map just to give you guys a bird's eye view of where we're at. So this is 30 minutes from the entrance of Yellowstone National Park, I'm pretty sure. So Yellowstone National Park entrance, I don't know if it's the entrance or not, but you might have to go around all of it actually. I'm assuming there could be an entry point right here. I'm guessing since it's a winter, yeah, here's West Yellowstone. So, West Yellowstone, I thought so. I thought this was wrong, but it must be snow or this must be closed maybe. But this property is only 40 minutes, 30 miles from West Yellowstone. And like I said, you've got this Hegbing Lake down here, and there's a bunch of access points to fishing. Here's a Firehole Ranch. Here's Earthquake Lake, I believe, right there. And here's the Madison River. So this area is cool. You can get an idea of what's going on out here by looking at photos and understanding this area. People are coming out here on fly fishing tours, accessing these lakes. You can see that. I mean, this is world-class fishing, antelope hunting. You're going to find probably elk and deer down here, whitetailing, maybe some muleys too. But long story short, we're offering 5 acres in southwest Montana. You can see where we're located on a map. I don't have to go through all those photos of this lodge right here, but our property is located right here. It's real easy to access off Highway 87, Montana Highway 87. You just hop into the subdivision, you head over to our property, and you're going to arrive at the property right here. We're on this Allentown Road. It actually comes off Pond Road too. So again, I'll pull it up here on Onyx Maps. So I want to show you where we're located here. Again, here's Yellowstone National Park. You can't get much closer with private land ownership to Yellowstone National Park. Here's Big Sky, Montana. This mountain range is cool as it comes. Really a special area. Here's Ennis, Montana. Check out the rodeo on Friday nights. This is going to give you true Montana vibes. Think, obviously Yellowstone, the TV show, right out here in Yellowstone or in Ennis. This is a pretty cool mountain range actually too. I've actually done a backcountry ski course in this mountain range. I believe it's that one. I forget the name of it, but it's cool. This is a cool part of the country. If not one of the coolest parts of the country. This is a 5 acre tract of land. The pictures tell you what it is. You don't even have to go there to get a pretty darn good idea what you're buying in terms of land investment. I talked about showing you some of these public access points. So if I zoom out, you've got Henry's Lake down here. You've got these lakes all over here, Wade Lake. You've got campgrounds, you've got hiking trails all over. So I'm looking at Onyx Hunt right now. All I did was pull the GPS coordinates up, and the property is located right here where this exclamation part, this I is. Here's our 5 acre tract of land. Here's an access road that goes to it. It runs north and south along the property line. Somebody's built some sort of building there. You saw it in the photos and the imagery. You can see what they look like if we zoom in. They're just small, properties. It looks like with maybe some accessory structures, maybe an outhouse, some recreational vehicles, things like that. The target audience of this property, it's somebody who wants to build a home like these folks do. Maybe you want to build a barn dominium, a shop along with your home. Maybe you want to just go take vacations out here with your camper, your RV or your camper. set up a yurt or something like that, you can just use the property for recreation as well. You don't necessarily have to build. So again, it could just be coming out here and going fishing on the weekends, staying the night in your camper on the property, or camping on the property even, for that matter. You don't even need a camper. So that's what we're looking at, right? We're going to have some world-class views from the property. You're going to have super close proximity to fishing and hunting. So again, and getting back, here's the property. You've got all these lakes over here, right? The system of lakes. You've got this mountain range over here, hiking trails, campgrounds. This is the Madison River, right? So you can go $3 bridge fishing access site. This is telling me this is world-class fishing down here, right? So this is the Madison River. It's a famous river for fly fishing. And so, the proximity is a major selling point, and that's why I'm emphasizing this. Then that flows in, you can get your fish license right here. It looks like, that's how popular fishing is down here. So again, the Madison River then flows into Earthquake Lake, right? You've got campgrounds, you've got Sheep Creek. This is a hiking trail, right? A 6-mile hiking trail called Sheep Creek. You can bike, hike, horse, right? So it could be mountain biking, it could be hiking, it could be fishing, it could be a combination of all that. You're close to Ennis, Montana, which is going to give you that old school, Western Montana feel. You're around the ranches. You're going to have those true Yellowstone, Western Montana feels down here. And you're also, you have access to Earthquake Lake then, Rock Creek campgrounds right here. You go a little bit further and you have access to Hegbing Lake, right? And you've got all these campgrounds. So from your property, you can drive to all these access points, Fisherman's Point. There's campgrounds all along this lake. That means it's world class. That means people want to go there. That means it's really cool. It's protected by the federal government and the state government to say, hey, this is a really special area for fishing, hunting, and recreation. The reason I'm talking about all this instead of the property is because this is a major selling point. You've got Gallatin National Forest, and go a little bit further east of the property. This is Yellowstone National Park, right? You go right into West Yellowstone, which is right here, West Yellowstone. So you want to spend a day in Yellowstone National Park? Great. Go camp on your 5-acre piece of land that you own. This tangible land investment that is generational. Not only do you own this property and can resell it, but you can use it as well. You can camp on it. You can build a home on it. You can park a camper on it. You can use it for recreation, right? You have not only, you're not staying at campgrounds, you own this 5-acre. If you die, this 5 acres going to the next generation or your next in line, right? This is a generational asset. And as we know, the price of Montana real estate and land is only going up. And so, the point is, the major selling points of this property are going to be the location, right? We talked about that. I'll pull up the location here again so we can look at it. It's a flat piece of land. It's going to check a lot of boxes for people, right? You take Pond Road down here and you just head north right where this home is, takes you up to the property. This is my favorite app to use for land viewings. All I'm doing is plugging the GPS coordinates into Onyx Hunt. The major selling points here is, you have this generational land asset that can be bought and sold in the economy, can appreciate in value, that can hedge against inflation. And not only that, more importantly, you have a world-class property location. You have Henry's Lake right down here as well. So, we talk about, as I zoom out, you are surrounded. We can look at this on Google Maps too. I'll just pull in the GPS coordinates again, and we'll look this up. You can see it on Google Maps. As I zoom out, you are in an area of world-class recreation. It goes from Yellowstone to Jackson Hole to Custer Gallatin National Forest, right? To Big Sky, Montana. It's truly a world-class area. And I think this is a tobacco root mountain range, by the way. I know I talked about that earlier. I did a backcountry course back here. This is a really cool mountain range too. But this might be the tobaccos too. I'd have to get on a map and look. But we talk about this area, and that's the biggest selling point, is that this is a special area to own land, and there's only so much land ownership that's available for people. And there's only going to be so much available in the future, right? And so that's what I want to put in people's minds, is this is a really cool land investment that can go a lot of different ways. Like I said, it can be used for recreational purposes or for building purposes. They don't want to see commercial use back here. I'm going to dive into a little bit more details on the property, but there's no zoning. There's not going to be a lot of restrictions. There's going to be no restrictions from Madison County, basically. They don't want you dumping your sewage on the property, your hazardous waste. But for the most part, there's no zoning. This is Western Montana. This is land of the free, right? And there are some CC&Rs or some old covenants with the property. I'll pull it up here. Really, I'll have it. If anybody wants this, I can send it to you. They're really old covenants. From what I understand from talking with a few realtors who've worked back here, these aren't enforced, I guess. I'm not going to stand by that. I'm sharing it with you for a reason. It's part of my due diligence. I've got to do this, right? Now, are they actually enforced? There's people out there with campers and stuff. I don't know. What these CC&Rs are saying, though, is basically they're saying they don't want you living out of a full-time residence out of some camper or shack. So the lands described in said contract or conveyance shall be mainly for recreation and residential use, it says right here at the number 1. Any business conducted on said land shall be confined to those that can be carried on in the home or garage without residence becoming secondary to the business. The business of tree farming shall be a permissible exception. No commercial enterprises, stores, saloons, groceries, or mercantile businesses shall be carried, right? So they don't want these restrictions may be modified for 80 acres or more to permit recreational related or ranching enterprises, right? So they're saying, hey, no bars, no grocery stores, stuff like that. Number 3, no commercial livestock operations, right? Pretty obvious. You can have your chickens, you can have your goats, you can have all that stuff. You can homestead, you can hobby farm out here, but they're not going to allow you to create a commercial operation out here, which is normal. I mean, you have 5 acres, you're not going to do that anyway. No camper, trailer, basement, tent, garage, shack, barn, shed, or other structure shall be used as a residence, except for a period up to 1 year while the residence is built. It talks about it. It does not exclude mobile or modular home. However, this shall not prohibit a property owner from storing a recreational vehicle on his property, it says. All residents shall have habitable floor space of at least 400 square feet, exclusive of a basement, porch, or garage. Exterior finishes shall be rustic in nature, stains and wood preservatives being encouraged, yada, yada. And then it talks about nothing herein shall prevent the property owner from having a recreational vehicle for temporary use on the property during hunting season, vacation, or during construction, not to exceed 1 year. So what they're saying is, hey, you can use these properties for recreation and vacation. You can use a camper on the property. You can camp on the property and do these things, but you can't live on the property full time out of your camper, right? So there's a 1 year limit on that. That's what that's saying. It just talks, the rest of it's pretty boilerplate. It talks about fencing. You're responsible for your own fencing. Don't, when it comes to big game, it just talks about creating a sustainable environment for big game. All sewage disposal shall go through the state of board health. That's across a state, no matter what. That's what I mean about regulations. These states don't want to see you disposing of your waste in a way that isn't condoned, essentially. So, again, the rest of this stuff's boilerplate. It talks about some fishing rights in section 10 that you can use. You've got some access to fishing rights there in section 10 for some of those lakes. Again, really boilerplate stuff as I go through this. It just talks about not breaking down properties below 5 acre tracts, so you can't subdivide this further. These restrictions are intended to preserve the recreational and residential values of the area, to maintain the area. So, in addition, I found a plat map. Actually, it looks like this is pretty old, but there's a test hole, a perk test, and a proposed well site, proposed drain field, and replacement. So we are property. We're this lot right here, lot A60-3. It looks like at one point in time, the DEQ actually approved a perk hole and had this drawn out. Here's a proposed drain field site. And it looks like they did a perk test. See this little dot right here? So this is a proposed drain field site. This was done a long time ago, but this is really awesome. I mean, that's good news. That's going to be a lot of questions people have. Hey, can you put a septic system? Yes. I mean, the answer is yes. It's been submitted before. I don't know if this is still valid. You'll have to check with the state. This was done back in 1997. It looks like October 1997. Again, if you want this document that was with the state of DEQ about the subdivision plat approval, it looks like they had them come through and make sure that drain fields and septic systems were going to work on these properties before they sold them. Again, that's what I'm understanding here. So again, this is your proposed drain field for septic system. Here was a perk test, it looks like. And the W is a proposed well site. This is your proposed well site for this property. Okay. So you can see the legend here, and you can see, their recommendations from this plat map, where this 5-acre property right there. So, that's going to sum up this 5-acre out here in Ennis. If you're looking for water, you're going to drill a well, or you're going to do delivery water. You're going to do like a cistern tank or a holding tank. If you're looking for power, there's going to be power lines just to the west of this property. I think some of these neighbors are actually using solar. So you'll have to get out there and view it, see how close power is, contact the power company, get quotes on what it's going to cost to run power to your property. There are utility easements in place. So if it's not too expensive, you can run power to your property. If it is too expensive, people just go with solar, especially in an area like this. It gets a lot of sunlight. Again, we talked about water being a holding tank, a cistern, or you can drill a well. Get with a local well driller. Maybe they've worked in the area. So again, just recapping the property, we talked about who the target audience is, what makes this property special, and the location. We talked about utilities and development, some of those CC&Rs, the target audience of the property, and ways you can use it. I do want to end the video with a quick disclaimer. Should have started with it. But this isn't real estate advice. This isn't legal advice. I'm simply sharing my opinion of the property with you through my due diligence, my experience, and my research in the industry. So get with us if you have questions. I have more listings on our homepage across Columbia Falls, Montana, Sanders County, out here in Bootjack Lake. This is just outside of Kalispell and Libby. We've got another one in Kyla outside of Kalispell. This is up in Columbia Falls, Whitefish. This is Glacier National Park right there. This property has access actually to the Flathead River as well. So there's a walking easement down to the Flathead River for this property too. So, take a peek at the investments we've got on the homepage here. If anything interests you, give us a call, 605-299-5553.